here's 6 tips to have difficult conversations. Number 1, make sure you plan it. Okay. All of us have busy lives. You and your partner come together and discuss and agree on a time to set aside 30 minutes to an hour to have this conversation. Okay. That's the first thing. Make time for it. Number 2, make sure that when you're having the conversation that you are only talking about one topic at a time. One topic at a time. It is so easy to be talking about one thing, and the next thing you know, so it goes like this. This is the way I describe it. So you're talking, and then your partner says something, and what they're saying, some of the facts and what they're saying are not real. And so a thought comes like this about the facts, and you jump on that train, and then now you're gone. And so now you guys are talking about something that's not even the real issue. And by the time you come back, it's been 2-3 hours and nothing is resolved. So one topic at a time. Here's the third thing. The third thing in having a difficult conversation is make sure you speak the truth in love. You got to speak. So remember, this is your partner. They're in the same relationship with you. So you can't hurt them without hurting yourself. So you want to speak the truth in love. You have people say, well, I'm just blunt, and I'm brutally honest. Why? Honesty does not have to be brutal. Speaking the truth in love means, so truth is the information. You can't sugarcoat the truth. If you sugarcoat the truth, then it's not the truth anymore, because that means you changed it. But speaking the truth in love, meaning I'm giving you this information, but I'm giving it to you as gently as I can, because it may already be difficult on its own. I don't have to make it more difficult. The truth without love is like surgery without anesthesia. It may be needed, but it is unnecessarily painful. Okay? Here's the fourth thing, having a difficult conversation. Make sure you don't overtalk each other, right? Give each other time to say what they got to say. It is rude and disrespectful to overtalk your partner. It is rude and disrespectful to cut them off. Don't do that. Like in my marriage, I was always cutting my wife off. Like she started talking and I just jump right in, right? And then, she would say, stop cutting me off. And I'm like, okay. But then she would start doing it and jumping in and cutting me off. And I'm like, stop cutting me off. But when she did it to me, here's what happened. I was able to finally see how disrespectful it is. So I'm telling you, believe me, when you cut your partner off, it's disrespectful. And it kind of derails, or it can derail the conversation. And now this time we've allotted is going to us fighting and defending ourselves. You don't want to do that. So don't cut your partner off. Here's the fifth thing. The fifth thing, if you're going to have difficult conversations, make sure that you don't hit below the belt. Okay. Now, how many of you have seen the movie Mr. and Mrs. Smith? If you haven't seen it, it's Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. And so they're both spies, right? But they're married. And there's this scene where they are in their house that they own. It's a beautiful house too. But they're trying to kill each other, right? So they're shooting at each other, blowing stuff up. It's their house. Your marriage is the same way. When you hit below the belt, again, you are hitting your partner below the belt. They're in your marriage. So how can you hurt your partner and not weaken your own marriage? And you got to remember, y'all gonna still be married. You're gonna still be married tomorrow. So now you got to deal with all of this destruction and chaos that you done caused. You got to clean all this stuff up, and that takes time away from the makeup. Like makeup is good. And here's the sixth thing. The sixth, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, the sixth thing. If you're gonna have a difficult conversation, make sure. Now, when I say this, you may think it's not important, but I'm telling you, it is. Make sure you stick to the time allotted. Because when you get into your emotions and you get into, you start talking about things, it'd be 2-3 hours and now it's unproductive. So you may talk about things in the beginning, you're staying on track, you're doing everything that I said. But then if you go over the time, now you're venturing into other stuff, and the progress that you made at the beginning has been erased because of the craziness that happens at the end. And that makes me want to give you a bonus. Let me give you one more. This is really important. We cannot solve problems with emotion. Please understand. We cannot solve problems with emotion. You have to use logic. Okay. When emotions go up, intelligence goes down. So you got to make sure that, think about this. If you were in a classroom trying to take a math test and a lion walked in, guess what you wouldn't be able to do? Finish that test. It would be impossible because your brain wouldn't let you. Because see, our brain is about survival. And so when our emotions kick up and we're in survival mode, meaning our brain has been triggered, you cannot think logically. And that's why we hurt our partners when they're in the same relationship we're in, because we're trying to solve problems with a whole lot of emotion. So you need skills to stay out of your emotions so you can stay logically and just talk about the problem. Okay? Hope that was helpful for you.